Now at 6, investigators discover a vehicle linked to an I-44 death investigation. Plus,
with the November election fast approaching, voters may have more options than just the candidates listed on their ballots. I speak with local election officials about what voters need to know about write-in candidates. I'm Samantha Walker, and I'll have that story coming up.
And how the Neosho, Missouri Recycling Center is giving thrown-out books some new life.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A new development in the investigation of a man found dead near Interstate 44. Authorities now have the car they had sought in that case. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. Someone had discovered the body in a ditch along the interstate near Joplin's Prigmore Street exit late Monday afternoon, then notified law officers. Authorities identified the man as 63-year-old Jesse Gilmore from Oklahoma. Investigators had issued a public notice that they were seeking a specific car in connection with that case and gave the car's description and Oklahoma license number. Well, now authorities say they've recovered that car in Independence, Missouri. They're still not giving details on the suspected cause of death or how the car might be connected to the case. A federal jury convicts a Joplin man and an Arkansas man of kidnapping a woman and holding her in a hotel room in Neosho, Missouri. The jury found both 51-year-old Freddie Tilton of Joplin and 39-year-old Alvin Boyer of Rogers, Arkansas, guilty of kidnapping and conspiracy to commit kidnapping. Authorities say Tilton beat and choked the woman in a room at the Boones Lake Lodge in Neosho, rented for Tilton by Boyer. Sentencing will come at a later date. You can read more information about the case on our website, koamnewsnow.com. All right, now let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy for a first look at the weather.
Yeah, another nice day for us today, but a little bit hotter across the region. We are going to be dealing with that as we go through the next couple days. Let's go outside. Joplin 90, 88 in Pittsburgh, mainly upper 80s. Across Missouri and also Arkansas, and then you hit the 90s, Kansas, and also Oklahoma. Through the evening, we look fine, 80s, 70s, upper 60s for overnight lows. Not a whole bunch going on here, but we are tracking some thunderstorms out to our southwest. These are going to die as they push in, but it could give us a couple random showers late tonight into tomorrow morning. We really need the rain, but you can see a few spotty showers, Kansas into Oklahoma, then kind of dying as they push through. So it's going to be very scattered. Also, look at the heat. We start to heat back up 94, 95 degrees for highs on your Thursday. We're going to talk about the heat and rain chances coming up here in just a bit.
Catch you in a few. Freeman Health System is adding a new member to its leadership team. Tom Keller has served as president and CEO of Ozarks Healthcare in West Plains, Missouri for more than a decade. That hospital today announced he would be leaving for a leadership position at Freeman. We don't know yet exactly what position it is, though Freeman's president and CEO, Paula Baker, announced her retirement earlier this year. Keller will step into his new role on December 1st. We reached out to Freeman for comment and we're awaiting a news release. Freeman Health System today celebrated its dialysis patients. They kicked off Patient Engagement Days for the 11th year. This year's event is themed Magical Care on the Yellow Brick Road to Health. The event is designed to empower hundreds of dialysis patients to better inform them of their health care options as they navigate the stress of the treatment. OSHA, the federal agency that sets and enforces standards for workplace conditions, is pulling back on its plans for new regulations on fire departments. Originally, OSHA planned to make a number of changes, including requiring fire departments be no more than fire trucks be no more than 15 years old, but the proposal drew concern from firefighters all across the country, as well as some lawmakers concerned about the financial burden it would put on volunteer departments. OSHA now says it's reevaluating the proposed changes. With the November election less than 2 months away, voters across the 4 states are looking at who the candidates are. But voters aren't necessarily limited to just who's listed on the ballots. KOIM Samantha Walker spoke with election officials to find out what voters need to know about write-in candidates.
During election season, you might see on ballots the option to write in a candidate for an elected position, whether it be local, state, or national. A write-in candidate is someone voters can put down whose name does not appear on a printed ballot.
Maybe they didn't know they wanted to run prior to the original deadline to get onto the ballot. Or maybe someone could also decide they want to continue. They might have lost at a primary and they want to continue running and try again at the general.
Now, rules for write-in candidates can change between states, such as in Kansas. Candidates wanting to be able to be written in as candidates on the ballot need to pre-register with their county or the state. That same sort of filing is required for write-in candidates in Missouri, as well as 31 other states. If someone does not file as a write-in candidate ahead of the election, any votes for them will not count.
It doesn't matter how many votes they get. Even if they win, they would still not receive that victory, that office. So Donald Duck usually doesn't count. Minnie Mouse doesn't count. We have very creative voters sometimes that put those things in. But they might write in a name that hasn't certified, and that would be probably disappointing to them if they didn't understand how that actually worked.
For voters who wish to vote for a write-in candidate, ballots will have a space provided, when applicable, for you to put a name.
Make sure to fill in the oval so that the machine, the counter, can read that and throw it into a different spot for the teams to separate that so the write-ins could be counted at night.
I'm Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
9 states do not allow write-in candidates, and those states include Oklahoma and Arkansas. You can find more election resources on our website, koamnewsnow.com/elections. The Recycling Center in Neosho, Missouri is recycling books, and not just the pages they're made out of. Over the past few years, the center has created a library for books still in good condition to be taken by anyone who wants them. Diana Howell with the center says people will often come to the center just to pick up books. Howell says this is the center's way of promoting the reuse part of recycling.
It makes me feel good that we're doing a purpose here. We want to give back to the community, and if it's just a book that somebody has spare time to read, I can never keep enough Westerns on the shelf, but it's very satisfying, very fulfilling to do that for people.
This year alone, more than 650 tons of material has been processed by that center. Coming up, why several homes are set to be demolished in Fort Scott. Plus, a request for help from a Southeast Kansas American Legion post to honor a prospective member. Demolition could start soon on various homes in Fort Scott after city commissioners gave their approval earlier this month. KOAM's Melissa Alexis explains the project and the reason behind it.
Some of these houses that we tear down, I wouldn't want to see anybody live in with children.
6 homes in Fort Scott were submitted to be considered for demolition. Leroy Kruger, the codes technician, says one of the reasons is they're abandoned and bring down the value of the surrounding homes.
If we see a house that's dilapidating, falling in, we send a letter to the homeowner to basically let them know that they need to bring the house up to codes.
But if the house is not brought up to codes, they will continue seeking approval to demolish the house.
It being an eyesore would make a person not want to buy a house in that neighborhood.
Behind me is one of the homes being considered for demolition. He says many of the homes on the list to be demolished are considered unsafe.
The majority of these homes are unlivable and have become flop houses or houses where drugs or other illicit activities take place within those neighborhoods. Needles have been found on the porches, drug paraphernalia scattered across the yards, broken glass.
They hope demolishing these homes will allow room for new businesses and new homes that are safe for residents to live in, as more housing is a need in the Fort Scott community. Reporting in Fort Scott, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
Now, owners who oppose the demolition of their house will be given a period of time to repair the building. If they don't, the city could opt to move forward with the demolition process. American Legion Post 35 in Cherokee, Kansas is looking for help honoring a prospective member who died last week. William Joseph Vilmer was on track to become a Legion member before he was killed in a vehicle accident last Wednesday. The Legion put up a monument in his honor at Pittsburgh's Atkinson Municipal Airport, but it's quickly falling apart. Now the Legion is asking for help fixing the monument in a more permanent way. A little bit later, the Kansas Jayhawks announced plans for a charity basketball game against the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Plus, it gets even a little bit hotter over the next few days. We're going to check that out coming up next. Well, of course, a warm/hot day for us today. Been heating up a bit over the past couple days, but it looks good. Nice shot of our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex tower cam. Of course, we're looking northeast through downtown Joplin. All right, through the evening, we slide back through the 80s, 70s into the upper 60s. Later on tonight, the heat kicks in even a little bit more as we go through the next couple days, and we are going to be tracking at least some rain chances. Couple scattered little showers trying to get in here late tonight, especially on the Kansas and the Oklahoma side, pushing east, kind of falling apart, but we are going to have a few hit and miss showers. Then partly sunny skies. Look at our temps, 93, 94, 95 degrees for afternoon highs. Scattered thunderstorms again pop up tomorrow evening, maybe a little bit more numerous, push east through the evening hours, and then start to die once again. So late tonight, tomorrow morning, Thursday evening, very hit and miss storms, but at least we have the chances, which is good to see. Starting out on Friday, lower 70s once we get into the afternoon. Hot, humid, 96, 97, 98 degrees for afternoon highs. By Friday night, scattered thunderstorms drive in again, a little bit more numerous. This is Friday night, lasting into Saturday morning, so at least we have some chances out there. 71 to start tomorrow, 86 by noon. High temp at 94 with the humidity going up a little bit. We're going to have those heat indices, the way it feels to your skin. Upper 90s to lower triple digits once you get out across southeastern Kansas, also northeastern parts of Oklahoma. The winds are going to pick up as well. Southerly winds, we're going to have gusts pushing 20 at times by the time we head into your Thursday. It's warm. Most of us across the board, upper 80s to near 90 degrees. Evening daylight hours shrinking up. It's 90 in Joplin, south winds at about 10, and our humidity, our dew points into the mid 60s. So what that means for you is it feels kind of sticky out there, and that's what we are going to see. Through the evening hours, not too much going on, but we are tracking these storms out to our west, Kansas into the panhandles of Oklahoma and Texas, which will give us a random shower later on tonight, but still kind of high pressure in charge, and we're focusing on these storm systems out to the west to kind of change our weather up a bit. Next couple days, high pressure stays in charge. Here's our best chance for rain with this system that pulls out as we head into the weekend. As it does so, it's going to drag a cold front through and at least give us some chances for rain. Also behind it, we're going to cool down quite a bit to kick off the beginning of next week. So heading into the weekend, scattered thunderstorms Saturday, and then we'll have a front drop through. Of course, we need the rain across the region, so we'll keep our fingers crossed. 94 tomorrow, 97 on Friday, 93 Saturday, 85 on Sunday with those hit and miss storms. And then look at our high on Monday. High temperature of only 78 degrees.
And overnight lows that will be chilly.
Yeah, looks like it.
Thanks, Todd. Still ahead, Kansas and Arkansas men's basketball set a date for their preseason exhibition. And Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid speak about welcoming Kareem Hunt back to the Chiefs. John Dales has those stories and more coming up next.
As the Chiefs prepare for their Week 3 battle with the Falcons, they move running back Isaiah Pacheco to the injured reserve, and that leads to the Chiefs signing Kareem Hunt to their practice squad. Now, you may remember Hunt was a 1,000-yard rusher for the Chiefs as their primary tailback his rookie year in 2017. He was released abruptly in November of 2018 after a video surfaced of him pushing a woman to the ground and kicking her in a hotel hallway. But Hunt has spent the last 5 seasons with the Cleveland Browns.
Obviously, Cram was a close friend of mine while he was here. Just being in the same draft class, everything like that. He came to my wedding. But obviously, he went to Cleveland, has had a good career there, has learned and become a better person, and I'm glad to have him back now. And let's get him accustomed to the offense and see how fast we can get him out there.
Publicly, just thought he needed a change of scenery and get some help and take care of business there. And we felt like he did that. He did a nice job in Cleveland, and we talked to the people there, and there were no issues there.
College basketball season not too far down the road. This morning, Kansas and Arkansas men's hoops announced the date of their 2024 preseason exhibition. The Jayhawks will travel to Fayetteville on Friday, October 25th. That'll be one of the first looks that Razorbacks fans get at their new head coach, John Calipari, who left Kentucky for Arkansas this April. KU, of course, led by Bill Self in his 22nd season in Lawrence. Over to Major League Baseball, the Royals have just 12 games remaining in the regular season. ESPN's playoff predictor gives them a 93% chance of making the postseason. A win tonight would greatly increase those odds. Kansas City plays its third and final game of the series against the Tigers tonight. Detroit has won each of the first two, 7-6 on Monday, then 3-1 in extras last night. We'll put the standings on your screen in a moment, but this game is extra important because the Tigers are one of the teams the Royals are trying to hold off in the wild card race. Here's a look at how things currently sit for the American League wild card. The top three teams all make the postseason. Royals currently have the 2 spot. The Twins are just a game and a half back. Then another game and a half behind them are those Tigers, who have really turned things on in the month of September. In the National League, Cardinals are playing out the stretch of their regular season. ESPN gives them less than 0.1% chance at making the playoffs, but the Redbirds have a great chance to finish with a winning record. Forget this, the 16th time in the last 17 seasons. They host the Pirates tonight in about 20 minutes. That's it for sports. We're back after this.
Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 tonight. Miami, Oklahoma residents get the chance to voice their thoughts on the search for a new school superintendent. Plus, we're going to have more on efforts to give books thrown away at the Neosho Recycling Center a brand new life. Those stories and a whole lot more, it's coming up tonight. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. Summer isn't quite over technically, and boy, you would know it by the temperatures because it's going to be hot out there.
Yeah, some of our hottest temperatures we've seen in about a month as we go up to 94 on Thursday, 97 on Friday. The humidity is going to be up there. We are going to get some rain chances as we head into the weekend.
Final sports note.
Tonight I'm going to have more on that important Game 3 between the Royals and the Tigers.
Let's see if the Royals can turn things around. A whole lot of people go into making our newscast a success, and many of them, most of them, you really don't know anything about because you never see them on TV, unlike us. One of those would be the producer. Let's take a live shot at the control room. Hi, wave to us, Peyton Holloway. Peyton there is the producer of this newscast and has produced many of them, and he's been invaluable to us. We're having to say goodbye to him tonight because he's pursuing another opportunity, but we wish him well. He's done so much behind the scenes that most of you at home never really know. He goes into writing, creating graphics, making all sorts of decisions, and keeping the news anchors from rambling too long when they ad-lib at the newscast because he's in charge of the time, and right now we're down to 5 seconds. We'll see you at 10. Let's make it a great evening.